Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. We are here today to be talking about policies and policy groups here within Jackrabbit. So if that is what you signed up for and what you are here to learn, you are in the right area. So let's go ahead and introduce everyone who's going to be with us today. It is just a small group of us, so it's just a small group of presenters, and I do believe it's a small group of people attending. So if you have not been in one of my webinars before, my name is Emily Cole. I am the product training specialist here, and today y'all have my boss answering questions for you. So we are going to have the Q&A open for you. Talina is in the background. She is answering those questions that you put in. Just a reminder, the Q&A is open. That is how we will be answering questions, or if you have a question, you can put it in there. The chat is going to remain closed. That way it just kind of keeps it easier for myself and Talina to keep everything straight when we are answering questions. So let's go ahead and start looking at what we're going to be talking about today. So when we're looking at policies, the first thing we're going to look at is our individual policies. After that, we're going to be looking at our policy groups, and then, of course, assigning policies to classes. We're going to be looking at a couple of different things within that. So as you can see on the agenda, that is broken down into 3 different categories, and each of them have those little subcategories. So let's go ahead and get started and get into our account. So let me actually sign out so that I can just sign back in, and we will start right here at our home screen, our executive dashboard. If you have been in my webinars before, you know that there are a couple of things that I like to point out before we get started into the true topic of the webinar. The first thing that I do like to mention is our Jackrabbit help. So by getting there, you click this little question mark icon at the right, and then it brings up this pop-up window. So you'll be able to see the Help Center. So this is any of our Help Center articles. You can also search that right here by searching Help Center. You can look at any of our video help. You can look at staff training options. So if you hire any new staff, or if you just bought a gym or just started a gym or organization, you can look right here at staff training options, and that way you can get a little bit more information about training, as well as e-payment resources. If you use Jackrabbit Pay, this is that those e-payment resources that you are looking for. At the bottom, you will see right here that we have a submit a ticket, request a call, and chat with support. All of these 3 blue buttons are ways that you can connect with our incredible support team. I believe there are 17 support reps. I might be 1 or 2 off there. But we have an incredible support team. If you have ever worked with our support, I bet you can vouch for them as well, that they are absolutely incredible. So please make sure that you are utilizing that. I tell our clients that if something is going to take you more than 5 minutes to figure out yourself, just put in a ticket, request a call, or chat with support, because sometimes they can answer that question so quick and in such depth, and can answer any follow-up questions that you do have. Any other questions, you can always go to the Help Center video help, and you can also search our Help Center here. Then there is right up here at the top right, you can join our Facebook software user group. This is something I highly recommend you doing. At the end of this webinar, I am going to have a little QR code you can scan with your phone, and that will take you straight to the Facebook user page. If you are not a member, it'll ask you to join. If you are a member, it'll just take you straight to that page. This is a way that you can talk to other Jackrabbit users, see what they are doing a little bit different than you might be doing. There are so many different ways to use Jackrabbit to make your organization better. So I highly recommend joining that. And then right to the right of that is our YouTube channel. So this is where you will see any of our webinars that we post, any videos that we post, via the Help Center article or the Help Center, any of those videos, any marketing videos, really anything that comes to Jackrabbit, we submit on our YouTube channel as well. So that's the first thing I like to review. The second thing I like to review is right up here on the right as well. Sorry about that. My mouse went a little wild. So right up here on the right is that bullhorn icon. That's what I call it. It's our Jackrabbit resources. So this is our resource center. So you can do a let's get started. It's kind of like a step-by-step for your setup if you are new with Jackrabbit. You can optimize Jackrabbit and get the most value. So by clicking this, it kind of just shows you another step-by-step of what exactly you can be doing. As you can see in my organization here, I have completed none of these. But I can go in here, and as I complete these will be off, and this little progress bar will be completed. Training opportunities, if you are looking for training opportunities, you can see them here. This might be where you found this webinar that you signed up for today, as well as any trade shows that I'll be at for training, and really any events that we'll also be putting on. Latest enhancements, as you can see right here, there is a little 2 icon right here. That means that there have been latest enhancements or new releases that I have not checked out. So if I just click on this, this is now going to show me that new email editor for templates, as well as the self-check and automatic absence reporting. I highly recommend looking at this anytime that there is a new enhancement, looking at it, clicking to learn more. That way you can kind of see what we have updated and how it can be best used for your organization. Then we've got integrations and partners, featured videos, show me how, and submit your ideas. If you have any ideas that you want to submit to our idea portal, this is where you'll do that. All right, so those are the 2 things I like to talk about. I like to talk about the Help Center. I like to talk about our Resource Center. So let's go ahead and get started into our topic today for policies and policy groups. The first thing that we are going to do is we're going to go right up here to our little settings icon, or the gear icon, go right here to settings. And then we're going to go down here to policies. And this is what you will be seeing when you go to policies. So you've got right here, you've got policy and you've got policy groups. This is one of our smart grids. So as you can see here, if I want to drag and drop, I absolutely can. If I want to expand, adjust my columns, squeeze grid or expand grid, I can absolutely do that. I can add a new policy here, and then I can require a re-agreement and print. We're going to go through this re-agreement in just a little bit. And then same thing here, if you are just looking for favorites for favorite view, you can do that as well by click save as favorite and also view your favorites here if you have multiple favorites. So these are the policies that I have in the organization that we are in right now. So these are, specific policies that I have for my organization. Every organization is different. You can have as many policies as you want. I do highly recommend looking into policies and seeing what other organizations may have, or talking to legal counsel or anybody like that who may be able to help you with policies and what you need for your organization and business to be covered. So when you are looking at individual policies, as you can see here, I can click this photo release, and this brings me to my edit policy photo release. This is my title right here, photo release. I can put a description to this policy if necessary. And then I can also just come in here and I can type anything that I want for my policy. You can change your font size here, the font color, the background color. You can bold, italicize, and underline. You can change the formatting of the where the text is. You can add bullet points. You can add a hyperlink if you want. So let's say you have a like a student handbook or something for a competition group. Then you can absolutely add that in here, and you can insert that hyperlink. And then if you have a hyperlink inserted and you want to remove it, you can absolutely just click this. As you can see, this is grayed out. It's not letting me click it because I don't have any hyperlinked in here. And then the last thing is you can view your HTML. This is your HTML code. So if you are tech savvy in your HTML, you can go in here and edit things as you would like. What you can also do is you can copy and paste. So let's say you have something already in a Google Doc or a Word document. You can absolutely copy and paste right into here so that you can edit just a little bit more within those. And then as you save policies, that is going to say policy saved right here. And because I didn't make any changes, this is not going, well, yes, I did make a change, I'm sorry. But if, let's say I didn't make a change, this is not going to say last modified, and it is not going to require a re-agreement. Anytime you make a change to any policy, whether it's adding another period, changing a date, or adding a completely new paragraph, anytime there is any type of change to a policy, your parents are going to be required to re-agree to that policy when they log into their parent portal. So just keep that in mind anytime that there is a change. There is a forced re-agreement that is prompted through Jackrabbit and then goes to your parents in the parent portal. When you are also looking at individual policies, you can go right here. You can preview it, you can copy it, edit, or delete or retire. When you preview this, this is how your parents will see it in the parent portal. This is exactly what they'll see, as well as when they sign it, they will get a email that also shows this as well. You can print it, and if you print it, as you'll see here, it will just look exactly like this. All right, so let's say I want to add a new policy. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say a late fee policy. And I'm going to put in here, there will be a $25 charge for any late fees. I've got this just short and sweet right now, but you can change this if you want. If you want to change the color of it so that maybe people will pay more attention to it, you can absolutely do that. And then I am going to save changes here. So as you can see, this is my late fee policy that I just created. There is no description. It is not assigned to any policy groups. It is not assigned to any classes, and there are no previous versions because I just created it, as you can see, today at 1:12 p.m. And this is by the user that I created it, or the user that created it. So let's say I want to add this late fee to a policy group. So if I go right over here to policy groups, you can see I've got two policy groups. I've got a competition group and I've got a default policies. If I wanted to add a new policy or new policy group, I would go right over here to the right and click this green plus button. That is how I would add a new policy. And then once I add the name, I would then go right here and I would start typing in any of the policies that I would want to add. If I want to add a new policy to a already existing policy group, I go right here to default policies. I click add a policy to this group, and I want to add that late fee policy. If I want to add multiple ones, I absolutely can. So let's see, photo release isn't in there. I can do that. I can add, I'm trying to find other ones that I don't have in here. That one as well, authorization of emergency medical care. I can add as many as I want, or I can create a new policy here as well. So let me just add this late fee. I'll add that photo release in here as well. And I'm going to click add to group. So now you can see here that this late fee and photo release has been added. And as you can see here, this policy group, it still says, I'm not sure why that's showing 0. It must be because it's not. There we go. So the late fee, it's still not showing that it's assigned to any policy groups. Oh, that's because, I'm sorry, guys. I was looking at right here. Okay, here we go. Why did it not save? I must have not saved it. I am notorious for not saving things, so bear with me. Let me add that to the group, save policy group, go back, and there we go. All right, so that late fee is now showing policy groups. So everyone just learned a lesson there. Always click save policy group. I am notorious for not saving it. And sometimes when I am practicing in my organization, I'm like, gosh, why did that not go back in there? It's because I didn't save it. So lesson learned there for you, for me, for everyone, to always click that save button. So save policy group, as you can see, that late fee is now in there. It is now assigned to that policy group. It says that there is one. And if you are looking at, let's see, this medical policy, and you want to see what two policy groups is it in, I can click this and I can see, okay, it's in my competition group and it's in my default policies. Same thing when you are looking at your individual classes. Your individual policies. You can see what classes that they are assigned to as well, just by clicking these numbers. Let's go back over here. And right here, you can see the default policies is assigned to 32 classes. I can click this. It's going to generate a report for me that will show these 32 classes. So as you can see here, this is showing 32 of 32 classes. And then if you are looking for that policy, you can slide right on over here to policy groups, and you can type in here competition. And that's going to show, look, I've got competition group to 9 classes. And if you go right back over here, that does match. My competition group has 9 classes added to that policy group. I hope that makes sense. I'm sorry, I just kind of jumped all over the place there. Sometimes I get a little bit excited about different little features that we can do here. So I apologize, I kind of jumped ahead. If you are also looking at your policy groups, if there is a default policy group that your parents should agree to, even if there's no in-class enrollment, this is where you will add this. So let's say a parent has created a parent portal, but they have not enrolled in any classes. They've entered in all their information, and you don't require a class enrollment for them to just get into your organization. You can have them go ahead and have them assigned to different policy groups. That way you can make sure that they are at least agreeing to the bare minimum policies that you want them to. So I've got this set as default policies. So if I were to have a family go to the parent portal, create a new parent portal, and not enroll into a class, they are still going to be prompted to answer those questions, or I'm sorry, agree to those policies, which would be your default policies, which would contain 5 policies. When we are looking at forcing a re-agreement, there are a couple ways that you can do this. You can do this, like I said, by changing any of your policies. So if I wanted to go in here and I wanted to authorization of emergency medical care, let's say I just wanted to add a date here and say updated 8/22/24. I can save those changes, and now it is going to force anybody who has already agreed to this authorization of emergency medical care, if it is assigned to them based off of their class that they are in, that has this policy attached to their policy group, they will then have to re-sign this or sign this for the first time before they can do anything else in their parent portal. So that's one way that you can do it. Another way that you can do it is you can go right over here. You can click this more button here, the 3 little dots on the very far right, and you can require re-agreement. If I click this button, it's going to say this, and it's going to say, hey, are you sure you want to do this? This is going to make everyone re-agree to these, even though you haven't made edits to the policy. So this is going to say, yes, I do want to require re-agreement for all 7 policies. So that means now when a parent logs in and they have a parent portal and they have enrollment or they do not have enrollment, they are going to be forced to re-sign those policies when they are in the parent portal. And we're going to look at the parent portal shortly. So that is individual policies, that is policy groups. I do want to show when you are looking in policy groups, if you are looking at, let's go to this default policies, and I want this late fee to be moved up, I can absolutely do that, and I can put late fee at the very top. Or I can put, let's say I want to put payment policy at the very top, because that's my biggest thing. I want to make sure that my parents know that they know how they are going to pay and all of the payment policies that we do have at this organization. I've got that one at the very top because if they're going to read one, hopefully they click on that first one rather than just clicking that I agree for all of them. So just make sure that you do have all of them in there that you want, and then how you can change any of these based off of the order that you want them to display in the parent portal when they are signing those. So again, I'm going to save that policy group, and that way my payment policy is that first one, and my late fee is that second one. When you are looking at classes and you want to edit policy groups, what you can do is I can go right here to all classes. And let's say I have, I want all of my ballet classes to have the competition signed, the competition group assigned. So policy groups here, as you can see, I've got default policies. Well, let's say I want to add that policy group for competition as well. I can go right here to more. I can click add policy groups. And I can go right here to competition group. And I can click add. Policy group added to classes. I can then refresh. I'm going to type ballet in again. I'm going to scroll over. And as you can see now, competition group is in that policy group. So that is a great way to look at that. If you are looking at an individual class, let me go right here to this black tips. I can go right over here to policy group, and I can also add another one here. So if you want to do it by an individual class, you can just go right here to classes, all classes. You can type in the class here, or you can go right up here to the search bar and type in a class. I've got this bull sharks. I'm going to go right here, policy group, and add another policy group to it. Click add. And now anybody who is assigned to this bull sharks class, they will then have to sign this competition group policy group as well. When we are looking at, again, all classes, you can mass add. So you can add policy groups. If I wanted to add it to all 32 classes, I absolutely could do that. Or I can search by different class, change by different category. So I could do right here, I could do team. And if I'm just wanting to make sure that I already have the competitive in there, I can scroll over, or what I can squeeze that grid. And as you can see here, that policy group is right there. So I can see right here that that competitive group is in there for my category 1 team. So that is how you can mass edit any of those. And then when you are looking at families, if you are trying to see when a family agreed to policies or what policies they have not agreed to yet, you can go to an individual family, or you can look right here to policy status. So because I just changed all of those policies, or I'm sorry, I forced that re-agreement for all of those policies, this is now showing that 15 of my 15 families have not agreed to my policies. That makes perfect sense because I just asked them to re-agree to those policies. But if I want to go right over here to an Adkins family, you can see here that I need to re-agree to all of these policies. So let me show you what that looks like in the parent portal. When we go right over here to settings, parent portal, go to parent portal, I'm going to log in and look right here. This says policy agreement required. Let's say I click read and agree, and I just want to go in here real fast. And me as this parent, Laura, I just want to go in here real fast, and I want to, I don't have time to answer or to read these agreements. I just want to go in here and I want to change my billing and payments. Look at that. This is still saying policy agreement required. So this is something that Jackrabbit has set up so that your parents, when they log into their parent portal, they are not able to do anything in the parent portal until they read and agree to those policies. That way, you are not having to hound your parents saying, hey, please, when you go into the parent portal, please sign those policies. You don't have to ask them that. all you have to do is click, or all you have to do is force that re-agreement or change your policies, and that policy agreement is required. So I won't be able to do anything in this account until I read and agree. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to read my policy if I would like. So this is, again, how you'll see it here. I can print as a parent from the parent portal. I can print if I would like. But as I go in and I read to all of these policies, you can now see that I have agreed. I can now go in here and I can do whatever because I have agreed to those policies. If you get a question from a parent saying, hey, I agreed to those policies, but I don't really know where they went. There are a couple different ways that you can find them. If you go right over here to messages, I have this new message right here. This is because I just agreed to these policies. So you are going to get a message, or the parent is going to get a message every time they get, or every time they re-agree to a policy. So right here, we've got this registration message and it's an agreement or re-agreement saying that these are the policies that they have read and agreed to. As you can see, I clicked that button, I have read and agreed to the above policy. It's going to say what day, what time, and by who agreed to that. And it's going to show all of the policies that I agreed to. And then I can go back to that message. What I can also do is I can go right here. And then I can go to account, and I can go right here to policies as well. I can read a policy. What I cannot do is I cannot unagree to this. Once you have agreed to this as a parent, you cannot unagree to this. You can only read it. And then that's really it when it comes to the parent portal. Let me go ahead and sign out and go back here. And so as you can see, so this was that Adkins family. I'm going to refresh right here. And as you can see now, this shows that I agreed to this, or I'm sorry, that I didn't, that somebody from the Adkins family agreed to this. So it's going to say agreed on this date at this time by who. And then as you can see here, you can look at all of the ones that they've agreed to. If you only want to show policies that need agreement, you can absolutely do that. And you can go right here. As you can see, there are not any of them that need to be signed. What you can also do is you can print active policies, or you can print active policies with a signature line. So let's look and see what that would look like. Right here, you can show, so this is 5 policies that this family has been assigned. And here is the payment policies. You can see all of the information as well as the initials here. And for each policy, it is going to ask for those initials. And then at the very bottom, I have read and agreed to the policies for this document, print name, sign it, and date. This is what your parent would do if you want a paper copy. Or sometimes you have parents who want a physical paper copy. My father-in-law, he will not sign a document unless he has a copy of it himself. He does not do anything electronic. I get it. I know that there are people out there like that. So this is a way that you can do that. And again, how you do that is you're in this family for Adkins. You go over here to policies. You click this print button and then print active policies with signature line. All right, when we are looking at families, again, what you can do is, as you can see here, now it's showing that one of my families have agreed to those policies. That is, of course, the Adkins family, because I just went into their parent portal and signed those for them. But if, let's say, I want to email all 14 of my families who have not agreed to those policies. Let's say it's been a little bit, maybe it's been a month since you re-agreed those, maybe a week. It really depends on how fast you want your families to re-sign those. So what you can do is you can click that policy status. As you can see, this new filter has come in, has agreed to all active policies. That is a no, so that's showing 14 of my 15 families that have not agreed to them. I can then go right here. I can send a message. I can email, push notification, or text message. Email, that is standard with Jackrabbit. Push notification, that is if you have Jackrabbit Plus, and then text message is if you have Twilio, which is one of our integration partners here with Jackrabbit. So let's say I wanted to email them. I would then define my audience. I would click next additional settings, and then I would go right over to my composer. And as you can see here, this is how I would create my new one, or if I already have a template, I would be able to do that. And I would say, hey, sign your policies, please. So that is everything that has to do with policies and the family status. I do believe I have covered everything. Let's actually look at classes, all classes. And if I want to remove a policy group from, let's say, ballet, I can go right here and I can click remove. So let's say this ballet class that I have, competition group, I don't want them to maybe have this competition group or the two policy group or for a policy group. I can click remove. It's going to ask me, are you sure you want to remove this? I'm going to click remove. And now that is showing just the default policies. And as you can see here, policy groups, it is now showing that 1 instead of 2 because I have removed it. Again, we're going to save those changes because we learned earlier that if you don't save those changes, you will not save that information. So luckily on this page, it already saves that for me. So it's no changes to save. I do believe I have covered everything. Let me take a look in the chat. I'm sorry, not the chat, the Q&A to see if there were any questions that came in that maybe I need to answer live. So go ahead and put any questions in if you have any that I have not already answered. And it actually looks like there haven't been any questions answered. So y'all made it easy for Talina today. She just got to listen to me talk for 32 minutes and y'all didn't give any questions. So hopefully that's a good sign that I answered all of the questions that maybe you did have. As you do head out from this webinar today, I will say that there is a survey when you close out of here. It will take you to a Google form that is a survey. I highly, highly recommend filling that out because that is how I get graded. It is saying, hey, did Emily do well? Did she talk about what I wanted her to talk about? Did I learn anything? You can put comments in there. If you said this was absolute trash, I hope you don't say that. But if you do, you can put that in there. I will not take it to heart, but hopefully that is not how we are feeling today. So again, if you will fill out that survey for me, that helps me know how I did today. And then again, here is that QR code to join our Facebook user group. You can scan this with your phone. It'll take you straight to the Facebook app if you already have that, and you can join our Facebook user group. If you have any questions about training, webinars, anything like that, please email me at training@jackrabbittech.com. That is where I get emails about any one-on-one trainings that you might want to do, any training at trade shows, as well as any webinar information. So I sure do hope that y'all have a great day. Today's Thursday, so I hope that y'all have a great rest of your week.
Hold on, we have a question
weekend.
that's come in.
I see. Let's see. We have a policy to post pictures on Facebook. If a parent wants to change the policy from yes to a no, how can they change? How can we change it for them? So what you would have to do is I don't know that you are able to do that. Because once they have agreed to that policy, Kathy, you are not able to go in and change that for them. You would actually, and Talina, call me out if I'm wrong, but I think the only way that you would have to do that is you would have to reassign that to all of your parents.
Yeah, I would recommend using user-defined fields for an agreement that they can say yes or no to as far as posting pictures on Facebook. That's a great way to have them not necessarily forced agree. So that's the policies are for agreement only. And again, that can be for a family user-defined field or a student user-defined field. And if you hold just a moment, I'll put that help article about that in the chat.
And Kathy, I'll very quickly show that to you as well. Let me go right back over here. And let me go back here. So if you go to settings and you go to general, and then you've got user defined fields. So as you can see here, I've already got a couple of user defined fields, but I've got family user defined fields here. And I could say photo release authorization. And then that way, when they are filling out any of that information, if they are filling out your online enrollment, that is how you can go in and change that. And Talina, it looks like Talina just put in the user-defined fields help article. So I hope that helps Kathy.
Oh, I think you've been muted, Emily.
Oh, I'm just here talking to myself. I was saying that please, if you have any more questions, please reach out to us at training@jackrabbitTech.com. But I do believe that is going to close out our training for today. I hope all of y'all have a great weekend. Thank you so much.